Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 1. So today we are going to present about teaching across age levels. So how do we teach across age levels? We must be well versed in what we teach and mindful of our learners' age and level to avoid presenting material they not comprehend. In easy way, we have to teach students based on their levels. We as a teachers have to look for a correct way to teach in every level, such as primary level, high school level, or even college level. We need to we need to we need to consider that teaching children is not the same as with teaching adults or teens. So for this lesson, we have three parts. First one is teaching children, the second one is teaching adults, and the third one is teaching teens. For teaching children is more difficult because you have to consider the way they act and what they are interested in. You have to apply some different techniques in the classroom to develop the topic. And if we teach children, we have to do a lot of activities, just like fun learning classroom. So we can attract students to interested in second language. Have 5 categories of practical approach in teaching children. First one is intellectual development. Second is attention span. Third is sensory input. Fourth is effective factors. And last one is meaningful, meaningful language. As for intellectual development, children are centered on the here and now, on the functional purpose of language. Rules, explanation, and even slightly abstract talk about language must be approached carefully. So for teaching children, we have to know their moods well, we have to approach them well because they are so sensitive. Even though we're just like even if teachers unintentionally raise their voice, it can make the students cry or sad. So teachers who teach children, they have to prepare mentally and physically to teach them.
First, children have a very short attention span. They get bored really quickly, especially if the lesson is too long or feel boring. So, what do? We turn the lesson into something fun. For example, we can add games, point, or even small challenges. Imagine if I ask you to just copy word from the board for 10 minutes. It's so boring, right? But if I make it into a game where you earn stars for every correct answer, suddenly it's getting more exciting. So that's exactly how children learn best. Children also learn better when all their senses are involved. They like to see, they like to hear, touch, and even move around. That's why we as a teachers need to be creative. Instead of just reading a story, we can also show pictures, play sounds, or even let the student act it out. Because the more senses we use, the more they understand and remember. Now, one thing about children is that they are very sensitive to how others treat them. If they feel embraced or if their friends laugh at them, they may stop trying. So, as a teacher, we should always be positive and encouraging. A simple like good job or nice try can make a huge difference actually. It's because we want them to feel confident and motivated, not scared of making mistakes. Lastly, children like to learn things that are useful right now. They don't care much about topics that not related to their daily life. So when we teach, we need to connect lessons to real life situation. For example, teaching words about food, school or family because things they use every day. So in that way, the lessons feel real and meaningful for them. So, to teach children effectively, we must keep lessons short and fun, use all their senses, be encouraging, and always connect the learning to real life. Because if we do this, teaching children will be exciting for both them and us. So, that's all from me. I'll pass to Tisha.
When teaching adults, the process is different compared to teaching children or teenagers. Adults are more mature in age, but many of them are still developing their knowledge of English. Because of this, teachers need to consider certain aspects that make adult learning unique. In this section, I will focus on three important categories: intellectual development, attention span, and sensory input. First, intellectual development. Adults are more capable of understanding abstract rules and concepts. This allows them to handle complex systems and theoretical frameworks that younger learners might struggle with. For example, adults can appreciate not only the rule itself but also the reason behind it. By linking new knowledge to their personal or professional experiences, adults are able to learn in a deeper and more meaningful way. Second, attention span. Adults generally have a longer attention span than children. However, this does not guarantee that they will always stay engaged. If the materials feels uninteresting, they may lose focus. Therefore, it is important to keep activities short, structured, and relevant so that learners remain attentive and motivated throughout the lesson. Finally, sensory input. While children often need a wide variety of colorful and playful activities, adults can usually learn effectively through listening or reading. Still, lessons become much more engaging when multiple senses are involved. Incorporating visual aids, audio materials, or even small role play activities can help adults retain information more effectively and make the class feel more dynamic.
So for effective factors, remember that even though adults can express complex thinking in the new language, there are adults with mature emotions. So don't treat adults in your class like children. You can give adults as many opportunities as possible to make choices about what they will do in and out of the class. And don't discipline adults the same way as children. You can discipline adults in a different way, not like how you treat children. So for authentic, meaningful learning, adults are able to understand better about a context radio segment of language, but authenticity and meaningful is still highly important. As for despite their ability to handle the contextualized language, relevant and genuine materials would significantly boost their engagement and learning. For teaching teens, you have to consider the age range like 12 to 18, as not all teaching rules are always applicable. And teens are in a transitional phase. It's like they are experiencing significant physical and cognitive growth, which often leads to diverse and evolving opinions and thoughts. And this presents a unique challenge for teachers. And for 5 categories of practical approaches in teaching teens is intellectual development, attention span, and sensory input, effective factors, authentic and meaningful language. For the last one is intellectual development. Around age 12 to teens, brains develop the ability to think more abstractly. Because of this, they can start to handle more complex and thoughtful ideas.
Okay, for the attention span, while intellectual maturity leads to longer attention span, keeping activities short and simple remain effective. As learners grow intellectually, they are able to focus for longer period of time. However, keeping activities short and simple is still the most effective way to maintain attention and prevent distraction. This is because even with growing focus, brief activities accommodate diverse attention levels and allow for varied learning experience. In addition, brief activities are useful because they support the learners with different attention levels and create opportunities for more varied and engaging learning experience. Sensory input. While diverse sensory input remains valuable, teenagers' growing capacity for abstract thought make it less crucial than with younger learners. Although sensory input is still valuable, teenagers rely on it less compared to younger learners because their ability for abstract thinking has developed. This is because teens can increasingly understand concepts through language and logic, lessening their need for hands-on sensory experience for initial comprehension. As a result, they can grasp concepts more effectively through language and logical reasoning, reducing their dependence on hand-on sensory experience for understanding. Effective factors. Teens are ultra-sensitive to how other people perceive their changing physical and emotional self-puberty, along with their capabilities. Teenagers are highly sensitive to how others see them, especially during puberty when their physical appearance and emotion are changing rapidly. They also become more aware of their abilities and often compare themselves to others, which can strongly influence their confidence and self-esteem. Therefore, teachers need to create and consistently enforce rules against teasing, bullying, and judgmental comment about appearance, emotion, or abilities. Teachers play an important role in creating a safe and supportive environment by setting clear rules against teasing, bullying, or making judgmental remarks. By consistently enforcing these rules, they help protect students' confidence and ensure that everyone feels respected and included. Authentic, meaningful language. As secondary school students get older, their brains develop and they become more like adults in how they understand language even when they are not many close around. As secondary school students grow older, their brain development allows them to process and understand language in a more advanced way. This means that they can make sense of meaning even when there are few clues similar to how adults interpret language. For instance, they can typically follow a debate about a social issue discussed only through spoken argument without needing to see the specific situation being debated firsthand. For example, teenagers are usually able to follow a debate about a social issue by listening to the spoken arguments alone. They do not need to directly witness the situation being debated in order to understand the discussion and form their own opinions. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.